I'm Paul Sherlin, and I'm talking with Daryl Mather of BUGCO Pest Control in San Antonio, and we're talking about how to kill mosquitoes. So, Daryl, how do you kill mosquitoes in the San Antonio area?
Well, Paul, San Antonio is prime breeding grounds for mosquitoes. They're really vicious there. Everyone knows it. So what we need to do is we're going to start on the small scale and talk about what the average homeowner or person can do to try to reduce them, and then we're going to kind of go up on the scale to talk about some of the bigger issues or other ways that we could reduce the population. So to kill mosquitoes, let's talk about ensuring that their breeding sites are eliminated. So your house or your business, go ahead and ensure that we're reducing the breeding sites, any standing water, something as small as a bottle cap, the kids' toys left outside, tires, anywhere there's going to be standing water, there's going to be mosquitoes. But they're really not limited to standing water, unfortunately. Mosquitoes have developed this nasty little evolutionary step where they can go ahead and lay their eggs on the grass or in the soil, and they can hibernate basically until a good rain washes them into a pool or even near like muddy water. Muddy water is sufficient enough to help them breed. So in San Antonio, we have these dry spells, and then all of a sudden we get a good rain, and voila, you have a whole new generation of mosquitoes just breeding and attacking. So what we need to do is ensure that we're also manicuring our yards, cutting the grass, cutting the trees back, and allowing the soil to dry out. Now, is that going to prevent them long term? No, but we're going to help. In pest control, our key words are reduce and control. If we eliminated all of them right now, well, that would be a magic trick that I would love to see. But unfortunately, mosquitoes are here to stay. So we need to reduce and control their numbers using a variety of methods. So with that, homeowners and tenants need to do your part. Business owners, let's go ahead and try to reduce and control them. And then we can start talking about other ways. So we were talking earlier, Paul, about the Intercare systems. Intercare traps, they lure mosquitoes in, and what that allows us to do is they lay their eggs in the trap that kills off the larvae and the eggs that they lay. So right there, we've turned a breeding site into a kill site. So we're reducing their population right there. But not only that, they have a secondary chemical that attaches to the surface of their skin, and mosquitoes are going to go to multiple breeding sites per night. What this allows us to do is they take that chemical to point B, point C, point D, and they transfer that chemical to the other mosquitoes, also killing off the larvae in those breeding sites, as well as the mosquitoes that come in that were not exposed to that trap, but came in from other breeding sites. Well, that secondary site that first mosquito went to, they've now transferred that chemical. So we've created another breeding site, or a kill site out of that breeding site, I apologize. And so it starts compounding and it's exponential, and we start creating a very large area, a surface area on the ground that mosquitoes are breeding in, and they're helping us to kill off the mosquito population. Once again, emphasis on reducing and controlling. So we're using the mosquitoes to reduce and control the numbers of other mosquitoes. It's a highly effective method. Go ahead.
I think if I understand what you're saying correctly, those mosquitoes that visit the Intercare system in my yard are going to go into my neighbor's yard, and they're going to bring that chemical with them, and they're going to prevent the mosquitoes from breeding in my neighbor's yards too, because those mosquitoes could fly over the fence and bite me. So it has a general suppressive effect in my whole neighborhood, I guess. Is that right?
Yeah, so it does cover a large area. It's going to help to spread. So perhaps your neighbors aren't as meticulous as you are. Maybe they don't cut the grass as often, or don't pump out the water that we're talking about. So yeah, we're utilizing the mosquito to help spread and prevent the spread of additional mosquitoes in neighboring properties. We can't take into consideration all of those properties and the conditions that aid in their breeding. So we're utilizing the mosquito to help us do our job. In regards to the Intercare system though, when they go in, they lay their eggs, it does not kill the mosquito quickly. it does kill them. But what it allows it to do is that it allows them to continue to breed for 2 to 3 days before they finally succumb to the chemical that they were initially exposed to. So yes, we are reducing the adult population, but we're allowing them to do a little breeding so that it does reduce the larval population and the breeding population. So
Well,
yes, it reduces the adults.
that makes sense, because if you kill them immediately, if they hit the Intercare system in my yard, and you just,
Mhm.
then they wouldn't have the chance to spread to my neighbor's yard and prevent populations breeding over there. So that makes a lot of sense, but it's not the quick kill system that, and I think you have other systems that provide that quick kill capability.
Yeah, definitely. So in regards to, so that's something that's going to aid us long term. And with the Intercare systems, that is a monthly maintenance program, by the way. The chemical's slated to last for about 30 days before it starts breaking down. Now, the great thing about that as well is that's a green product that does not have an insecticide in it. That is a natural system. And after about that 30-day mark, it starts to break down to be environmentally friendly. So what we want to do is come out about every 30 days, go ahead and change out the water, and what we use is we call them our little Intercare packs. So we change out the Intercare pack, and in 30 days we'll come out and change it. And we're going to, during the mosquito months, so your spring, summer, and into fall, we're going to want to come out on a monthly basis.
Okay.
Now that's the long term. If you need a short term like knockdown, our next and most effective would be our backpack fogging. Now, that covers large areas. It has a quick knockdown effect, and it's going to reduce your mosquito populations in the surrounding area. So if you're having, say, for instance, an event, you're talking weddings, quinceañeras, something that's going to be on an outdoor space, we're going to come out and we're going to fog high, we're going to fog low. Obviously, we're going to look for these sites that are conducive to their breeding, and we're going to attack those locally. So that has a good and effective rate for about 24 to 48 hours. Keeping in mind, however, mosquitoes are flying insects, and like you mentioned earlier, those mosquitoes are going to be able to fly in over fences. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to knock them down locally in the treated areas.
Okay. Okay.
So do you have any questions about the backpack fogging?
Well, I know that not specifically about the backpack fogging, but I know that you also have and install mosquito misting systems that complement what the fogging can do.
Yeah, sure. So we can use any of these programs in conjunction with each other. So sometimes we'll do backpack foggings with the Intercares, backpack foggings with the mosquito misting system, sometimes all three. It's really dependent on what the, as a consumer, as a homeowner, what you want and what you need.
Okay.
So with the mosquito misting systems, those are comparable to a pool pump. It's a 55-gallon drum. It goes on the side of the house or in the garage, sometimes out of view. What it allows us to do is it allows us to run lines and strategically place these lines around the property. And it typically 3 times a night, when mosquitoes are most active and the beneficial insects such as butterflies and bees aren't, it'll allow us to spray an insecticide that kills off the mosquitoes. And what it does is it puts out a very fine particulate that hangs in the air for, say, 20 to 40 seconds, depending on wind and other factors. What that does is it kills off the population, and it does have a very short-term residual. So if mosquitoes were to land on the grass, it helps to kill off any mosquitoes that come in contact with it. But once it dries, it's not harmful to, say, pets, children, adults. So we just ask that once it sprays, go ahead and give it that minute or so to dry. But not only that, if you're having company coming over, we do have a remote that comes with these systems. So you can go ahead and hit that remote. And it's a timed spray of that 20 to 30 seconds application. Give it that minute to dry, and you'll have a mosquito-free yard. So it's highly effective, especially when used in conjunction, like we said, with these other systems. So they certainly complement and they compound the effectiveness of reducing and controlling that mosquito population.
And you were saying earlier when we were talking about this that the mosquito misting and the backpack fogging also knock down other troublesome insects,
Oh
maybe
yeah.
flies and things like that. That if you're having a gathering, you were talking about gnats, for example. They'll knock back the gnats for your gathering too.
Yeah, well, think about it from the, yes, there are flying insects and then there are your common crawling insects. So yes, these programs are really effective against flying insects because you can't put a bubble over your house. In an ideal world, we would love to keep all the bugs away, but we can't. So we can knock down the flying insect population, but the mosquito misting systems, not only for flying insects, it does assist in keeping everything from spiders, roaches, ants. It helps keep them not only at bay, but helps reduce and control their populations. I could say in all the years that I've been in this industry, people that have mosquito misting systems have the least complaints about pests because they are creating a perimeter around their home that has imagine a pest control technician coming out to your house every day. That's effectively what we've done, is we've given the consumer the ability to reduce and control the pest on a daily basis. And then we'll come out, it could be monthly, every other month, or even quarterly, depending on the size of the system or the scope of the work involved. We could come out, say, quarterly, and we'll maintain the system. We will check any of the hosing, make sure that it's not cracked, leaking, make sure that the nozzles are spraying effectively and evenly. And if they're not, we'll go ahead and change out the nozzles as a part of the program. We also conduct general pest control as well as a yard treatment every quarter or however often you have your service. So what we've done is not only we're protecting the structure, we've extended the barrier into the yard, and then we've created the, if you will, that aerial barrier against those flying insects and those other common crawling insects. So that's probably the most effective program that we have to date. And honestly, I haven't ever heard a complaint about a misting system. So that's highly effective, highly effective.
Okay. I really appreciate it, Daryl. Is there anything else you want to add?
Just do your due diligence as a homeowner or a tenant. Make sure that you're keeping your yard manicured. There's a lot of things that you can do yourself. Do it yourself pest control in a sense, and really that's environmental. Just make sure that you're manicuring the yard, cutting the grass. Don't overwater. And what that will allow you to do is that allows you the upper hand in the fight against pests. And then, of course, if you needed a quote, you needed advice, you could always call BUGCO. We could try to quote you over the phone or even give suggestions. We don't have to get out in a lot of instances, but should you want, we can get out, we can conduct an inspection, and we do provide free proposals for mosquito misting systems. So should anyone be curious about it, we could get a technician or a specialist out and, educate you as a consumer. And I think that's very important.
Okay. And you serve the whole Metro San Antonio area, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Bernie over to Bulverde, New Braunfels, up into San Marcos. And the greater San Antonio metro area. So nothing's off limits. If you're in the metro area, give us a call.
Okay. Thank you very much, Daryl.
All right, Paul, I appreciate it, man.